I'm Empathic Sight, and welcome back to my channel where I talk about wellness, self-care, and navigating the world as a low-vision Canadian. So today I want to talk about the question that's up here, which is the struggle between advocacy and self-care, especially with the new political developments that have been happening. It's important to stay informed and engaged, but it can really become overwhelming at times, especially because a lot of us get our news information from TikTok. I just want to take a moment to remind you that this is not a political channel. I do have my own personal opinions, but I won't be sharing them here. I like to focus my channel on wellness and self-care, and in that light, I'll be sharing some tips with you as to how we can keep that balance without burning ourselves out. So here are 3 tips to avoid burnout while staying engaged and informed and balancing self-care with wellness, okay? So the first one is being intentional with our news intake. It's so easy to get lost in the scroll. I say it's going down a rabbit hole. We can spend hours and hours like just taking in all these different videos, all these different political things, all these different news outlets. But if we pause and we take breaks and allow ourselves to stop and consider what's happening, what we're seeing, where we're getting our resources, it can be easier. So, my tip for you on this one is follow reliable sources, take breaks, and fact check before reacting, because oftentimes it's not reliable. Also, give yourself permission to step away when you need to. The second tip is about advocacy, and it's set attainable advocacy goals. You don't have to do huge actions that happen all at once. Sometimes it's the smaller things that build up, and that's how change occurs. So whether it's signing petitions, having a conversation, or just making mindful choices, you're doing what you need to do, and keeping in mind your needs and what is attainable for you is important when setting those advocacy goals. The third one involves self-care, and it is setting up a self-care routine. Remember that balance is key. So making a conscious effort to set time aside for things like hobbies, or to go outside, or even unplugging from social media entirely. That's a good way of having self-care. It encourages your body and your mind to do things that don't actually involve social media. Remember, the self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. And this is what I did last week in order to maintain my own mental health, was I actually had to step away from social media for a little while because of the influx of news outlets that were competing for my attention. So now I'd love to hear from you. What's something that you're doing to attain some balance with everything that's going on right now? I know it's a bit overwhelming for some people, and I think it's a good idea for us to remember that while everything is in chaos, we can still find time for ourselves. Leave a comment down below about what you're doing for you in this time. And I hope this was helpful for you. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share. And as always, thanks for watching. Let's give ourselves some grace these days.